Located in Ukunda on the southern coast of Kenya, the Diani Sea Lodge is an expansive hotel with lush gardens and a gorgeous slice of the crystal white sands and aquamarine ocean waters that the Kenyan south coast is famous for. It's the perfect setting for this season, so let's live out loud next. Thank you for joining me on my channel. This is Sheila Lives Out Loud. My name is Sheila Mwaniga. I am so thrilled to have this conversation rolled and ready to share with you. Before we jump in with Daniel Ongera Nyairo, a quick reminder to click subscribe and hit notifications to this channel. We post new episodes every Monday. We hope you're inspired. As always, we'd love to hear feedback from you. So drop us a comment in the comment section below after you watch this video, and do share it with somebody, because trust me, there's something here that somebody else needs to see. Now, Daniel, story yako tutaanzia wapi baba?
Hata sijui tuanzie wapi.
You reached out to me, and there was just one thing you said to me, and I knew I had to look for you. You said you are an illiterate watchman who taught himself how to read, and now you're onto some amazing things. And before you talk about the amazing things, I just thought to myself, illiterate. But here you are in Tandaoni sending me an email that is grammatically correct. There are no spelling mistakes, nothing. You are no longer an illiterate watchman. Can we just establish that?
There were no mistakes in that email.
No, there were none. You'll make me go back and look at it again. Like it told you at the beginning, growing up, becoming a watchman, what happened, Daniel?
First, let me maybe say something about the illiterate part. You are not the first person to raise that. Like it doesn't, maybe it sounds like it doesn't fit. But it fits, and I will explain in a moment how it fits. So I was born in between Narok and Nakuru, but my parents come from Kisii, and then we moved to Narok, now Narok South, which is now the border between Bomet and Narok. Maybe you don't know those places, don't worry about it, it's not important. Then I went to school there in Narok, primary, and then high school. I went to some day school in Kisii. My mother took me there, and I finished, and then I came back to Narok, and then for like 4 years I was not doing much. I was just there helping with farming, and for like 4 years, I'll say. In fact, 2005 towards the end, I met somebody there. I was like, oh, so unitafutie kazi in Nairobi, you know, niko hapa, I'm doing nothing, feel like I'm just wasting my time. And she was like, okay, I'll see what to do. She came to Nairobi. She used to work. I think she still works here. And she called me. She was like, okay, come. Kuna mahali nimepata kibarua. Turns out there was a friend of hers who was running a cleaning company. And she took me there, and then nikapewa job ya ku clean. So that was my very first job in Nairobi.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
I worked there like 2 months, and then I met someone, made friends, met somebody around where I was staying, and he was like, oh, so we kind of became friends. He was like, so what do you do? I told him. He was like, how much are they paying you? He told me, kijana hii Nairobi na hiyo pesa utatoboa. No? And he told me, okay, maybe I should tell you to try something else. He was like, kuna kampuni ya security hapa inaajiri, maybe you can come try. Yeah. So I went there, and I was hired, and that's where I stayed for 7 years. Yeah.
But if you stayed there for 7 years, they must have been paying you more than 3,600.
Yeah, they were paying me. The first pay was 9K. And then over the years, by the time I was leaving, it was like 15, 16K. Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Well, you know, if you live simply and you come from a very simple background, you know, it's also about learning to live with what you have and making a life with it. But
Mm.
making that transition, I'm listening to
Mm.
your story. Ulienda shule, ulimaliza shule. Let's establish that. Or did you drop out from school at some point?
Nilimaliza Form 4. I did finish my
So
O
you're not
levels.
illiterate, Mr. Daniel.
I will
Mimi Daniel.
explain.
Wait.
I will yeah. wait. I feel like, okay, illiteracy might mean different things to different people.
Mhm.
And if I was literate, ningekuwa na kazi ya ofisi. Don't you think so?
If you were literate.
Yes.
No, but they're also literate people doing all kinds of things. Wanaendesha matatu, wengine wako shambani.
Yeah.
I just thought to myself, at some point between being a watchman, ulienda shule ya Ngumbaru, I was about to ask, because people like to joke about adult education, and it's not joking matter, because I wanted to know where
It's
these
not.
classes, na ulikuwa ukienda wapi. But
yeah, I went into doing online stuff, and that's what I do today. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had not touched a computer up to maybe 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I never touched a computer. I was just seeing people. I passed by somewhere, I see a computer or somebody holding a laptop. I didn't know how it works. So,
So let's talk about the transitioning process from saying this 15,000 is good, but I think I want more, to seeing people with computers and thinking that's good, but I want my own. How did that happen?
Around 2008, my daughter was born. She's about 30 now. And kawaida wa Africa, people come to see the baby. And some relatives came, some from my side, some from my wife's side. And they came to see the baby. And one of them, who is my wife's relative, I think she was she was shocked by, I think, what she saw, maybe. She's told me this recently now when we met. She was like, I saw you people, mulikuwa mmeparara, mnaishi this single room somewhere. And then I was like, oh yeah, these people are really suffering. And she asked, so later after she's left, she called and she was like, so what can I do to help you people? It seems like you people are going through. But we didn't think we were living rough, by the way.
Again,
like we were
you had learned to live
ourselves
with what you have. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I was even telling somebody yesterday, if you go to, say, Korogosho or Kibera and you see those people, as an outsider, you might think they're miserable or they see the suffering they're going. But those people themselves don't see that for the most part, of course. Of course, there are things they will recognize, like this is really difficult on us. So for us, we didn't think it was really, we were having problems. We thought we could pay rent every month and we could buy food, and we felt we were fine. But being somebody looking from outside, she thought like, okay, these people are going through a difficult situation. So she was like, what can I do for you people to help you out of this situation? And immediately I thought of learning how to use computers. And this was my motivation. My motivation was, I had tried to apply to be made maybe a supervisor at work. And every time, me not knowing how to use computers became something that was like, you don't qualify,
Okay.
So my motivation was, I need to learn how to use computers so that I can get a promotion at work, which could maybe push my pay at maybe 25,000, which would be a lot of money. Yeah. To make me more comfortable, I guess. That's what I thought, at least then. So I joined some college in Westlands there to learn computers, and I did that. And after that, I now was thinking about applying to be a supervisor or something at work. Around that time, I was guarding this Swedish family in Lavington area, somewhere there. Really nice people, by the way. They're still my friends. We still talk. We left, but we still talk. And one evening, I just reported at work, and then the guy comes out of the house. He's like, "Oh, Daniel, come here." Go. He's like, "Do you want a laptop?" was like, yeah. And he gave me a laptop. It turned out this laptop, it was his daughter's.
Yeah.
But she went somewhere and ikamwagikiwa na coffee. They took it to the fundi, cleaned it, but the keys were not the same again. And the daughter was like, no, I don't need this laptop. I don't want it. So he gave me the laptop and he gave me the password to the home Wi-Fi. Yeah, and then now I know how to use computers. I have this laptop. I have internet. Now, let me see what I can do.
The sky is the limit, right?
Yeah. At some point, there was a business writing competition organized by Safaricom Foundation then and an organization called Enablis and Chase Bank. I just come from work in the morning. I'm watching TV. I remember it was NTV, by the way. And there was this guy from Chase Bank and this other guy. He said, "Oh, they are from an organization called Enablis and they help businesses." And they're like, "We are holding this competition. People with entrepreneurs write business plans. They send them in, and then people will be invited and we'll grade them and people will win, some will win money." I was like, oh, I'm going to try that. What I didn't realize, the people they were talking about were entrepreneurs, meaning people already in business and making money.
Right.
But I tried, and now looking back, I always tell people, sometimes don't feel like something happening is not your league. Just try. You never know, especially if it's not going to cost you anything. Just give it a try. So I tried, and I was on the list, and they posted us somewhere. Of course, I didn't win.
No, but to be in that pool, that must have done so much for your self-esteem, for your confidence, and to just affirm that you were on the right track.
Exactly, and the list was on newspaper. That was huge for me. Yeah, that was big. Wow. I really felt like, oh, I've achieved something. And then we go there, they train us on entrepreneurship, blah blah blah, and then they 10 people win. Of course, I didn't win. I was like, oh, I'm going to start a gym at Kangemi. That's where I used to stay. And I didn't win, but I won in other ways because this organization gave us membership and we go to events. And now going to these events kind of put me under some good pressure, you know? Yeah. Like I needed to explain to people what I'm doing. You know, you meet people, it's an event, they're like, oh, so what's your business? You know, I won't tell them I'm a security guard. That's not business. So I started telling people I do social media management. Okay, right. I wasn't really lying. And this is why
technically you were online, you were on social media, and you were managing your time while you're on social media.
Not even that. There's these guys I met. They were like doing some projects in the slum. Yeah. And then I got to know them through my brother. And they were like, oh, they don't know how to do. It's like they had gone somewhere and somebody was asking them, oh, wait, do you have a Facebook page? And they were like, they don't. And they really didn't know how to do it. Yeah. So this guy who was like their leader or their manager was like, you know, can you help them open a Facebook page? So I did, you know. And for some time, I was kind of like teaching them how to post their
how it stuff. Works. This is how you post. Oh my goodness! Wow, yeah. You know, that's how people say kimchezo, but for sure it's working. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was going around, I meet this one guy, and he's like, oh, he told me what he was doing. I can't remember what it was, but he told me, oh. So he asked me, so what do you do yourself? I'm like, oh, I manage social media. Oh, okay. And he took out a piece of paper, wrote on it, or desk.com. He told me, okay, go to this site. You might find more people who are looking for social media managers. You know? So I took that piece of paper, and for some time I forgot about it, and then I came to it later. And initially, I was like, oh, I want to look for jobs around social media management, which today I'm not confident to tell someone I can help them with any advice about around social media and business. I can't, because now I understand like it's so
It's very
Takes a lot
complex.
more.
It's a
It's
lot
very
more than
complex.
just setting up a page. Mm.
I started seeing job posts around writing. Like
Mhm.
somebody's looking for somebody to write something, somebody's looking for somebody to write something. I was like, oh, let me try this.
Yeah.
I was trying that. Now, here's another thing now, looking back, I don't even myself understand. Like, have you done something in the past and you're looking back and you're like,
The dots
what kept
connect
me?
straight when you look back, but back then
Yeah,
there's no straight line. Yeah.
I was trying these jobs
Yeah.
and nobody was talking to me.
Mhm.
Like I'm applying. I remember that site used to give somebody like 25. I forget what they used to call them. Like 25 chances. You can apply to 25 jobs in a week.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I did that the first week. Nothing was happening. The second week, I noticed something that when I applied to these jobs, if I withdraw my applications, I get my chance back. So I started every evening when I report at work, I open the laptop and then I apply 25 jobs. Then I close the laptop, come back tomorrow evening, check, nobody has reached out to me. I
Mm.
withdraw all of them, apply again, others 25.
Right.
and and I did that for like a week and a half. And
Yeah.
then somebody spoke to me, and this was a guy who needed somebody to add videos to their PowerPoint presentation. So
Mhm.
to me, it sounded so easy to do. Like, I know PowerPoint, I did packages, I know how to do that.
Mhm.
So he gave me the task. To cut the story short, up to date, I don't know how to add videos to a PowerPoint presentation.
You do it then.
so, so it took like 3 days. I come in the evening, he's left me a message. So how is the project going? I'm
It's
like,
not
I
going,
find
but
some
you can't
excuse.
say it's going. It's not going.
It's not going, but I've just kept finding excuses. And then finally he told me, just say you can't.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah,
Yeah, I
I
can.
cannot figure out. Yeah, I tried looking YouTube videos. I tried looking,
And the
reading
tutorials.
articles,
Mhm.
everything, but I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Right.
And he ended the contract. I was like, okay. Then I kept trying. Then this other guy he talked to me. I was like, oh, I need someone to use apps on a phone, and
Mhm.
then you write a review.
Mhm. Mhm.
By then I didn't have a smartphone,
Mhm.
so but I said okay. So what I will do, I will look at the app that he wants me to review. Just look it up on YouTube and then watch other people's reviews and then
Dear
write
Lord.
some text
Mhm.
and send it. And he was paying $1 per 500 words, which was a lot of money. Yeah, it
Mm.
was a lot to me that time.
Mhm.
And so I did write for him several articles, very many articles, because I remember the first month he was like my only client and I made like $30.
Mhm.
Still a lot of money, yeah?
Great.
yeah. And the second month, this other guy uh, responded to my application. And he was like, oh, I need somebody to write articles around men's stuff. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So I wrote the first article and he looked at it and he was like, stop, don't write anything more because this is really terrible. This is not what I expected when
Ouch.
when I said I did something.
Ouch.
Yeah, I was like, this is terrible. You showed me some samples and I thought they looked okay, but this is bad. But he did something that was amazing. He told me I'm not going to end the contract. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send you material, you read and learn how to write blog posts. So he sent me these PDFs, video links to videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I was reading this stuff, watching these videos, and something else he did that I don't know why he did that. He told me, you know what? For him, he was my first client who paid me per hour. So he told
Wow.
me, I'm going to pay you even when you are reading this stuff. So he was paying me
Wow.
$1 an hour, $1 an hour.
Mhm.
Nikaona nimeomoka, no?
Kusoma for 1 hour na unalipwa. Haya, sawa. Let's do
Dollar,
this.
hiyo ni kuomoka. So I read this stuff and then I started writing for him these articles.
Mm.
$1 an hour. He had given me 40 hours a week. So that's like $40,
Mm.
around 4,000 shillings, a lot of money.
Mm.
And it wasn't like a short project, it was like continuous.
Mm.
So the second month I made like 7,000 shillings.
Wow.
That month I jumped, I made like 20,000 shillings. Hapo nikasema sasa kuwa
Wow.
soja imetosha. Yeah,
Tumekauka ya kutosha. Hey.
so I resigned. That was 2013, December.
Okay.
Yeah, so then yeah, I became a full-time writer. Of course, after that now, I had to do a lot of learning, reading a lot of books, doing a lot of online courses. Yeah, it's been a journey.
Okay. Speaking of it's been a journey, I can see the laptop. Is that the first laptop or you omokad properly ukajinunulia yako sasa? Bado unabembeleza ya kwanza?
So, this is my maybe fourth or fifth. A few
Over the years, you have been able to upgrade. Now, to be able to be disciplined, we as Kenyans, the culture of reading, kusoma, we read to pass exams. Ukisha maliza exams, for a lot of people, the need to go back to read, whether it's for recreation, whether it's for learning a new skill, very few people do that. Motisha yako to do that, to say, if this guy didn't pay you $1 to read, do you think you would have still gone ahead and done that reading on your own to get better at what you do?
I think I would have done that because here is something I tell most people who like ask me like, oh, give me advice on how to maybe to do something. I even have it in my book. I talk about it. One thing that made my life what it is now. Okay, of course, there are all these other things that contributed in one way or another. But the one thing I will point out is reading. I've always read books, and that has made a major, like, it's changed my life in a big way. Yeah, reading books, reading. So even before this guy gave me the material, I was still reading books. Maybe not books that were designed to help me grow, like directly, like teach me how to write or how to copyright. But still, I read books. So it wasn't a big leap for me to go through the content, but it really helped. And him doing that, it kind of showed me, okay, if somebody else thinks they can help me, maybe I should also believe in myself and do something about it. Yeah, so reading, reading. Okay. Now I try to read as many as 4 books a month.
Wow.
I try to read that much. Everything I know how to do now as a copywriter comes from books. Of course, there are those online courses I've also done, but I think books have done more for me than anything else.
Right. You've just made mention of the fact that you've written your own book. Before we talk about your own book, you are in effect a copywriter. So what kind of copy have you written? What's your range? And did you finally crack men's articles and get it right?
That was after I was done with that client, which was like after 3 months.
Yeah.
I've never written similar articles around maybe men. But over time, I got to meet other clients who kind of put me on a different path. For example, I met this guy and he was doing, he has a company, they still manufacture ATM machines. So I wasn't very good by that. I didn't even know what copywriting was. I just know writing articles. Yeah. But he gave me, he he knew how to do things, but he was so busy with other stuff. So he needed somebody to help with the creating content. And so that's the point where I started taking a particular path. I started going more into financial technology. And I didn't choose to do that, by the way, but right now I advise people to choose a niche. But for me, it was kind of like I just found myself on a road and I was just walking. Yeah. So from that client, I got more into handling fintech startups mostly. So right now, my clients are mostly financial technology startups. I mostly target startups that maybe have the seed funding, or they have their first round investment. And what I do for them, it mostly starts with writing things like, okay, I can do blogs for them, but I can also do things like pitches, or things like what we call technical white papers. If they want to explain some programming to other programmers, for example. That happens a lot, by the way. And also white papers when they want to reach out to investors. So they will be like, oh, we want you to write this white paper that will explain to our investors what we do, and kind of persuade them to put their money in us. So that's what I do a lot nowadays. So any content, even video scripts, I do video scripts, any content that is going to be used for marketing to generate leads and maybe help convert those leads to sales. Yeah, I do that now.
That's a big wide range and a lot of good money happening in there. Have you had a good occasion to sit down with your sister-in-law? Is she proud of how far you've come?
Yeah, we are very good friends, by the way.
Yeah.
Very good friends. We talk a lot. So yeah, we do meet often, by the way.
Okay.
So I just told you recently, she told me like, oh, we were talking. She's like, oh, I saw you guys, blah, blah, blah.
Metoka mbali. Lakini watu lazima watoke mbali. You have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. And what happens next in your own individual race really boils down to your drive, your faith, and the things that set you on fire and you want to pursue those things. Talking about your own book, what's the name of the book?
The name of the book is 10 Steps to Freelancing Online. This book came about, it wasn't supposed to be a book, by the way. It was supposed to be a Google Doc. And the reason why it was supposed to be a Google Doc, I have all these people who reach out to me. They're like, oh, Daniel, I want to be a freelancer. How do I go about it? Or they ask me these questions. And then at some point, I was like, these people ask almost the similar questions. Or even when they don't ask these similar questions, I feel like they have the same needs. So I was like, it's wasting a lot of time talking to someone. So why not just create a Google Doc and explain those basic questions? And when somebody reaches out, I'm just like, oh, here's a link, go have a look. So I started writing as a Google Doc. At some point, I realized I need to say more for things to make sense. And then I kept on writing. At some point, I was like, maybe it should become a book.
Right. Yeah. So is it published or is it an online book?
It's both. You can get it on Amazon as an ebook, and you can also get it as a paperback. You can also get it locally as a printed copy. There's an organization called Writers Guild Kenya. They are the ones who printed it, and they have it. They have a library at Hazina Towers, ground floor. If somebody goes there, they can get a copy, or if you can go to their site, you can still order it and they deliver it.
Your experience, I'm going back to the beginning, and you were being paid $1 from as little as $1 for different things. Would I be right in saying that a lot of your clients have been from abroad, not necessarily Kenyan?
All of them have been. Maybe one or two Kenyan, but I'll say 99% have been from outside. And I now, when I talk about my niching, when I tell people, okay, I give them an example of how I've niched down to find my own space. Right now, I target more startups that are in Europe or
Yeah.
Asia, but are targeting the North American market.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I niche down, and there's a reason why I did that. There's a reason why I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I do explain in the book some of these things. For example, I wrote this book. Instead of calling them chapters, I call them steps. So the first step is acquiring a savior mentality. That's the first step. And there's a reason why I thought that is very important, because most people who've come to me to talk about freelancing, I've noticed that all of them are self-observed, which I don't blame them for that. Like, yeah, almost all of them sound to me like they are thinking about their own problems. They have not taken a moment to think about, okay, what problems am I going to solve for those clients? For them, it's like, how can I get a job to get money to pay their rent and to buy stuff and to be happy, which is okay, by the way. But there's a danger there. When you do that, you approach clients, they can feel it. They can kind of pick
Desperation
it. Sometimes,
spells.
yeah, sometimes consciously, sometimes not consciously, but they can still pick that vibe. But now the first step is I'm trying to tell the reader that you have your problems. That's fine, and you need them solved. That's okay. But don't make those problems leak out when you are approaching a client. Let them not feel like you are there because think about it. Nobody is hiring you because they want to help you. Even the richest person in the world has problems they need solved. If you come to them like, I know what ails you and I have the solution for it. And then you are also, which is another part that's very important, you are able to illustrate that you have that capacity to help them fix that problem. They will listen to you. Even when you do, like we call it cold pitching, where you are just approaching people who have not shown an interest of getting somebody, yeah? You just approach them, you look at them, you're like, these people are perfect to be my client. And then you go to them. The best thing you can do that will work so fine for you is if you identify some of the problems they might have. And even every business has those. You tell them, okay, I know you're having a difficulty in converting your leads or generating leads. I know how to do that. And let me show you how I do that. They'll listen to you.
Now, COVID sent everybody in different directions. Full-time employment, the future of work for sure is changed forever. The way we work, the opportunities we have all been fighting for, suddenly we're looking at the world through very different eyes. And it's a world in many ways has always existed, but it's also a new world for many people who didn't know what's there. Being able to make a proper living online, being able to carve out a niche, and being able to express your talents on a platform that gives value to clients as it gives value to you. There are many people who have had to look at their lives differently. Maybe opportunities disappeared, businesses were closed, redundancies, job losses, etc., etc., etc. For people to go back to the drawing board and start again, what would you say to someone who's been lost and who finds themselves in a place where they never imagined that they would have to start again? What would you advise?
You know, almost all of us find ourselves in similar situations, maybe not the same, but similar in one way or another, where you find yourself, things are not going well, lost a job, or your business is just not working again. Number one is to take control of your emotion. I think is very important, because you can either choose to focus on these problems and then you just waste time doing nothing, or you can just be like, okay, if they are going to kill me, let them kill me, but while they are killing me, let me take one step at a time to move towards a certain direction. Yeah. So if you're thinking like, oh, I need to go online and find clients to serve, then I will say, okay, start building a product. Think of a product. What are you, and a product in this, I mean a product in terms of, okay, what problems are you solving and what capacities are you building to do that? Yeah, but I think being in control of your, which is not easy by the way. Let's not say it like it's so easy to stop worrying. It's not easy, of course. It's really hard, but you can decide, okay, let me take one step at a time towards the right direction. Yeah. Like if everything is happening and so hard, but you just keep taking this, you never know. Before you know it, you've moved out of that chaos and you're doing something with your life. Yeah.
The future for you, looking ahead, looking at your craft, looking at all the things you've learned, looking at the things that you dream about and have planned for yourself. What do you see?
I want to do more of online enterprising. That's what I want to do going forward. I want to do, that's what I'm thinking doing online. I want to write more books. I want to build solutions that can help. I'm especially interested in taking the knowledge I have now that I've accumulated over the time, helping clients like directly and turning it into something that can generate me passive income and maybe build other products on top of that. That's like my long-term plan. But otherwise, to cut the story short, I'm not good. I think I'll do writing until I die. So that's what
you found something that works for you. And
I don't think I
you
plan
can
to do
write
anything
anywhere. You can write by a beach. You can write in your house. You can write if you go to Ushago, as long as you've got your internet and your computer.
As long as you have the internet. And sometimes you don't even need the computer, by the way. Most of the work I do now, I use my phone.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Even the book, I wrote the entire book on my phone. Even the clients' books, I write them on my phone. Like, it's more convenient for me. I just use the laptop when I feel like I need to read the text on a big screen so that I can catch the errors and whatever. But otherwise, the phone works so very fine for me. That's another thing. Most people are like, oh, I need a laptop and a big computer. I don't think, it depends, of course, because if you are going to do something like video editing, of course.
And of course, you will need more
you need a
to get that,
Yeah, you need a computer that's powerful enough to help you with that,
Daniel, I'm so thankful for your time. It's been refreshing chatting with you and inspiring as well. It's this conversation is everything you promised it would be. So I am grateful and thankful.
Good to hear that. I'm also thankful that you found the time to talk to me. I really appreciate that.
Asante sana. I know your story is going to encourage someone and motivate someone. You just never do. We're all connected, and in sharing someone, it's definitely going to have an impact on someone else. So,
and maybe I should say this before you go. I know you like what I've learned in my life. Sometimes all you need is a small piece of information, like that guy who wrote on a piece of paper or desk. Sometimes that's all you need to move.
Just one lucky break. That's very true. And for all of us as well, you could be someone's lucky break. You've got information. Sharing information doesn't take it away from you. When you share your knowledge, doesn't mean you have less knowledge. It just means you open the door for somebody else. So share your Hi, Taisha.
Share what you know.
Pass it on.
Hi, Taisha.
Hi, Taisha.
So just let people know. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And thank you to you, my viewer, for watching this conversation. I'm grateful for your company. Please click subscribe and hit notifications. Catch up with Daniel. I'll share his contacts on my socials. And to find his book as well, we're going to post all those details. And please share this conversation and drop a comment in the comment section below. It's been a crazy year after the COVID pandemic. A new life needs to begin for many, and many of them need to join Daniel in what he's doing. His journey can inspire and encourage so many. So thank you again for catching up with us. Until next week, Monday, live out loud in all that you do.